We got some interesting new details to Skate 4 this week, because the devs introduced a new blog post called The Grind, and we got volume 1 now, so there's going to be another one every month. And here they answer questions of the community and also share the current development of the game and how the state of the game is. So first of all, they're writing that we want The Grind to tell you everything you need to know about Skate before we open up San Amsterdam in early access later this year, which is good news because that confirms once more that the game is still on track and will be released into early access later this year, even though we still don't have any specific release date yet. And then they're writing about the always on playtest that had started back in September 2024 for PC and mobile, and then later in January 2025 for consoles. So just as a little reminder, if you are part of the current playtest, you can play this game until it launches into early access. But they're also writing that don't worry if you haven't gotten any invite yet, they are planning to send out another large wave of invites in June. And then they're also addressing the feedback and the discussion around the introduction of the virtual currency into a playtest, because that had a little bit of a backlash. I was also a bit skeptical about this and also expressed my concerns about this in one of my former videos, but they're writing that they know that using real money during a playtest is unusual, but they're thinking that it's the best way to properly assess and adjust the system before launch. And they also repeat that everything that you spend in the playtest, every money that you spend, will be returned to you in San Box, so in this currency, once the game is reset for early access. That also means that everything that you buy in playtesting you cannot keep. So if you like a bundle specifically and you buy it, you cannot keep it unfortunately, but you get your San Box back, so you can buy it once the game has launched. And that already leads us to the Q&A section of this blog post. And here one of the first questions is again, is Skate still launching in 2025? And they say yes, we are still planning on launching in early access later this year, and that they have an ambitious vision for Skate, an ever-growing, ever-evolving skateboarding sandbox that expands over time with the feedback of the players living in San Amsterdam, and that the early access launch is not the finished version of the game, and that it will grow over time, and this is just the beginning. And these are some buzzwords that I think a lot of gamers have heard throughout the last years for a lot of games, so I think that a lot of people are understandably skeptical, but we will see. The game is free to play anyways, so you don't have to spend any money on it if you don't like it. And then there is, I think, the most interesting and most important question: will Skate have an offline mode? And I read this in the comments quite a lot below my videos that you guys want an offline mode, you guys want the single player experience, but unfortunately the simple answer is no. The game and city are designed to be a living, breathing, massively multiplayer skateboarding sandbox that is always online and always evolving. In order to deliver on our vision of a skateboarding world, the game will always require a live connection. And yes, this is not much of a surprise from what we've seen so far and what we've heard so far, but then again, it is a bit disappointing to not be able to have an offline mode to play and to not be able to have an actual single player campaign to progress through. So I'm sure this is a little bit of a disappointment or frustrating as well for a lot of players who had different expectations towards Skate 4, and I also wish that they would have at least done an offline mode so you are not forced to be online all the time, and there would be an option that you can still experience this game even though you're not online, maybe because you don't have the chance to be online in this moment. And then there are of course also questions about things being locked behind a paywall, and if locations on the map will cost money, or if players have to pay to level up stats of the characters, which I think points towards a huge concern within the community about this online and free-to-play model and about all of these microtransactions, which is definitely understandable. So here are the answers that the devs are giving. First of all, if there's anything locked behind a paywall, they're saying no. there will not be. There will be the paid currency Senven box that you can use for cosmetics, and there will be an earnable currency called ripped chips that you can earn through challenges and that you can use to buy loot boxes. And I know this is a topic that they had addressed in an early boardroom episode where they had said that there will be no paid loot boxes. And yeah, technically they're not paid because you don't pay them with real money, but then again, there are loot boxes in the game. So they were kind of not lying, but also not really honest about it. But the bottom line is there will be cool things for you to earn and customize your character without having to spend real money, because out of these loot boxes you have a chance to get some cosmetic items. I'm not really a fan of this system as well, but I think it's a free-to-play game, so they have to earn money somehow. But they're also reassuring us that there will be no locations of the map of San Amsterdam locked behind a paywall, even if the city is growing and evolving and new areas will open over time and over its lifetime. No areas of this map will be behind a paywall. And no matter if you play for free or if you decide to spend money on the game, if a new area is added to the game world, you will be able to access it for free. And then the last question is about the stats, if you have to pay to level up the stats of your characters. And here they specifically say Skate isn't a pay to win game, so there will be no paying to increase your skater's skills. And also there are no skill stats to increase for your character anyway. Your stats are in your fingers, and how good your flick it is, that's how good you are in San Amsterdam. So practice makes pro, not a list of numbers in a stat sheet. So again, another interesting new detail that we didn't know before. There will be no stats at all to your character that you can level up or even buy to level up, but instead there will be only training your fingers on the stick to master the flick it system. And that was it for today. If you have any questions to the devs and you wanna have them answered in one of those next blog posts, you can join the official Skate Discord. Link to it is in the description below. And here you can fill out a question submission and maybe your question is answered the next time. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, because of course there will be more videos coming up when we get closer to the launch of the game. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye!